St. Paul.
Pinocchio is back just in time for the holiday season. Today on PM Magazine, join us as we give away tickets to the PM Magazine WLOL premiere of the re-release of this wonderful Disney classic.
Then we'll take a look at the world's best TV commercials as we show you some of the winners of this year's International Clios.
And find out why the game Bingo has become so popular on Minnesota's Prairie Island Indian Reservation.
Good afternoon and welcome to PM Magazine. I'm Pat Brown.
And I'm Steve Doyle, and today we are visiting the studios of WLOL in the Warehouse District in downtown Minneapolis. We're here because PM Magazine and WLOL are hosting the re-release of the Walt Disney classic Pinocchio.
Now later in the show, we'll be joining Heinz and Berglund and Roger to give away some free tickets to this movie premiere, which will be held on Wednesday, December 19th at the Cooper Theater.
Right now, let's see some scenes from this wonderful movie, which is the perfect holiday treat for the whole family.
Of all of Walt Disney's cartoon classics, one film stands alone as the pinnacle of Disney animation.
The one and only Pinocchio.
Walt Disney had a passion for improving yesterday's success. In 1928, he made the first sound cartoon. 5 years later, the first color cartoon. And in 1937, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the first animated feature, was being hailed as his masterpiece. But Disney was already looking to the next horizon. Pinocchio became his magnificent obsession. Animator Ward Kimball recalls Disney's drastic perfectionism.
We worked on that picture, Pinocchio, for 6 months, and he had a different idea on the approach to the story. So all the work we had done for the first 6 months was thrown out, and we had to start over again. And this was typical of Walt, compared to present-day producers who the bottom line is the money, which is fine. But with Walt, he always said, I can't take it with me. The only fun I'm ever going to have is right here making these pictures, and I'm going to make them right.
Lord High Keeper of the knowledge of right and wrong.
In the original version of Pinocchio, the cricket was squashed. In his version of Pinocchio, Disney resurrected the cricket. Ward Kimball was assigned to turn an insect into a movie star, though Jiminy Cricket's road to stardom was not a straight and narrow path.
So I sat down, and Walt says, well, make something that'll work. He's got to be cute. We're going to see him all the way through the picture, and it's too gross. And I said, well, I eliminated the sawtooth legs, and he's got a coat on. He said, oh, no, go back and make him cuter. So finally, he really turned out to be a much more enduring character than the original.
Say, that's pretty swell. Gee, thanks.
And that was the great change that made the story of Pinocchio really work, because you follow the cricket through the whole thing.
Take the straight and narrow it back, and if you start to slide, give it let your conscience be your guide.
In the end, it was not Walt Disney's drive for technical perfection, but his storytelling genius that is the ultimate triumph in Pinocchio. The bumpy road Pinocchio must travel to become a real boy is inhabited by Disney's most memorable characters. Stromboli, the menacing puppeteer, the evil coachman who rules Pleasure Island, and Pinocchio's final obstacle, Monstro the whale. Disney called it the illusion of life. It's the power of the illusion that makes Pinocchio the pinnacle of animation. First presented in 1940, Pinocchio cost $2.5 million to make. It has been re-released 7 times in the 44 intervening years and has grossed $117 million. And once again, this holiday season, children will be charmed by that Disney magic.
Now, Now, don't forget, later on in the show, we'll be giving out the phone number to our Pinocchio hotline.
The first 200 callers will receive a free pair of tickets to the PIA Magazine WLOL re-release of Pinocchio. So don't go away.
Love is in the air, in the thunder of the seas.
Spark her Christmas with a diamond pendant and earrings from Gordon's Jewelers and save 25% through this Saturday. Diamonds as bright as a Christmas star, set in 14 or 18 karat gold. Choose from Gordon's entire selection of diamond pendants and earrings, now reduced 25%.
Love is in the air.
Gordon's Jewelers, where love is in the air.
I don't know which little Debbie to leave for Santa.
I always used to leave oatmeal cream pies for Santa.
You can't go wrong with fudge brownies.
Maybe I better leave them both and make Santa decide.
This holiday season, make sure you have plenty of Little Debbie snack cakes on hand. You never know who's going to drop in.
Whenever you get snack hungry, Little Debbie has a snack for you.
It's classy. Classy Cinzano.
It's classy. Classy Cinzano.
It's classy.
It's classy. Classy Cinzano. Sparkling wine.
Asti Cinzano, the exciting, elegant Italian sparkling wine that's perfectly balanced. Delicious, like fine champagne.
It's classy.
It's classy. Asti Cinzano. Sparkling wine.
Being Santa isn't always easy. The gifts people want get more complicated every year, like video recorders and microwaves. Well, it's hard to find elves who can assemble electronic circuits. I found another way. I buy everything from the Best Buy company. Their Santa's Helper gift guide is filled with low-cost stereos, TVs, and appliances. If I were you, I'd shop the Best Buy company, too. The only way you can get it cheaper is to get it from Santa.
Good afternoon. Here's the news in brief. For the first time in Minnesota, charges of racketeering have been brought in federal court. 7 men, 4 of them former Minnesotans, allegedly teamed up to smuggle drugs into the U.S. The Minnesota Retail Association says its main objective this year will be to raise the interest rate on credit card accounts to 18% through legislative action. Today, the federal government says consumers helped spend $110 billion last month. We'll have these stories and more at 5.
And now we're going to pause for commercial break. But we won't be seeing just any commercials. These are among some of the best in the world. They're all winners of this year's International Clio Awards, the advertising industry's answer to the Oscar.
These are the best commercials made outside the United States. They're this year's winners of the International Clio Awards, the Academy Awards of Advertising.
There's not a silver screen producer that can do what our commercial makers can do in 30 or 60 seconds.
Clio's president, Bill Evans, a sort of Santa Claus of commercials, brings gifts of foreign gems to American audiences. This spot for recording tape from New Zealand just joined the Clio's Hall of Fame.
It's for my girl, Shirley. We're going to be married.
Dear John, oh, how I hate to write. Dear John, Shirley, I must let you know tonight that my love for you is gone. So I'm sending you this song. Tonight I'm with another. You like him, John? He's your brother.
Humor is indeed heavy this year.
Hello, remember me? Yes, you do. You know.
In England, Sony turned Monty Python's John Cleese into a hardware dummy.
You know, I could never resist beauty. Take the wife. Later, darling.
With the economy out there in many countries being as bad as it has been for us back several years ago, they need that levity in order to entice the consumer to make them buy.
You know, I think she's better looking than the wife.
In this wine commercial, the peculiar British sense of humor puts Joan Collins of Dynasty in a completely different light.
Oh, a fusion of superb Italian wines and aromatic herbs. One of our most refined European customs. I think they like you, Marissa.
Knowing Alexis from Dynasty as we indeed do, that would never happen on Dynasty, right?
To create dazzling productions guaranteed to grab attention, these commercials demand staggering amounts of money and time.
I would say it takes longer to produce some 60-second spots than it does to produce some of the bad feature films which we see today.
But advertisers are quick to borrow from successful feature films. This English incarnation of Indiana Jones is saved by a bar of Wright's coal tar soap.
Wright's coal tar soap.
What's original? Your child walking for the first time? Nothing's original. It's the applying of that copied idea into an original form.
In Japan, this variation of an old idea hypnotized millions of viewers.
The Japanese have a very unique way of selling anything electronic.
The most monumental commercial landmark in years is this 90-second epic for British Airways.
Every year, British Airways fly more people to more countries than any other airline.
The genius of this ad goes beyond impressive pictures. It's brilliant because it plays in any country, getting a huge bang for its buck by speaking a universal language.
Their facial expressions, well, what is this or what's coming? You know what they're saying. You don't have to hear it.
So just by changing the announcer to the language of any country, British Airways bought worldwide commercials for the price of one.
British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
If it seems that the British dominate the international Clios, it's because they do. This baked beans commercial shows yet another dimension of English creativity.
The Heinz bean spot is the last of its breed. It's cell animation done by hand, frame per frame, in lieu of computer animation, which is done on machines today. And it's the old Walt Disney fashion.
But Disney's not the only American influence on foreign advertisers. In fact, our modern, fast-paced, quick-cut commercial is America's most successful export. An Australian milk commercial conjures up images of the coffee generation. And the pace of this Dutch newspaper spot would hold the attention of any American audience.
Heldere krant in woelige wereld. Algemeen dagblad. Elke ochtend, overal.
But the American music video has made the greatest sudden impact. This spot from Argentina best captures the global power of advertising. As long as people everywhere have something to sell, the lights will never go out on the future of commercials.
Now, the commercials we just saw were among the 33 that won International Clio Awards this year out of a field of more than 2,000 entries.
Up next, we'll find out why bingo has become so popular at the Prairie Island Indian Reservation.
Piping hot loaf from Pillsbury. Absolutely the most incredible home-baked loaf you'll ever eat. Piping hot loaf.
For over 100 years, people have been enjoying MJB coffee for just one reason.
It's good coffee.
Here comes another Embers Better Than Coupon 24-hour meal deal. Brace yourself, because you can have breakfast 24 hours a day for just $1.99, and they mean a big jumbo breakfast. 2 eggs, 2 pancakes, 2 slices of bacon, and 2 sausages. The 24-hour jumbo breakfast, 7 days a week, just $1.99 at Embers Family Restaurants. Available at all Minnesota locations where your satisfaction is guaranteed. Oh, and you don't even need a coupon.
Wilson Ham presents a family treat that's great to eat. A ham that's lean and juicy, too. Wilson Ham, good through and through. Honey cured or original smoked. It's all that you hoped. The honey from Hawaii is rich and pure. Our smoked original is perfectly cured. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, too. Wilson Ham, good through and through. For details on our special Christmas lights offer, see your grocer's ham taste. Wilson.
It's a relatively simple game, easy to learn, and the stakes for winning can be very, very high. That's just one reason that bingo has become so popular at the Prairie Island Indian Reservation in southeastern Minnesota. But the gaming works in the Indians' behalf, too. We recently traveled to this Sioux community to explore this bingo subculture and found an arrangement that works for everyone.
It's a chance for the average guy to win some big money for little income.
I suppose everybody wants to strike it rich. You know, this is the closest place to home, you know, that you can really strike it rich legally.
I like it. It's better than hanging out any kind of, you know, places like bars or anything like that. I'd rather play bingo.
And he's not the only one. Bingo has become a lucrative and popular pastime for hundreds at the Prairie Island Bingo Parlor. It takes less than an hour to drive here from the Twin Cities, and because the gaming hall sits on an Indian reservation, that of the Santee Sioux tribe, normal state restrictions on prize amounts don't apply. We're talking big money bingo, folks. That's the name of the game. General Manager Paul Melby.
A person can win $52,000 each game. The lead we have on our program says up to $250,000 nightly. The odds of that are very remote. However, that is certainly possible.
And so, every day of the week, they pour in by the busloads, all hoping this will be their lucky night. In a hall that seats over 1,300, the odds are, frankly, not that good. And bingo's a game that takes a little money to play.
$49.
Now, if you decide to venture down to Prairie Island to try your luck at bingo, you'll spend a minimum of $12. Now, for that, you'll receive 12 separate bingo cards for each of the regular games. Now, do you realize that that means that you're scanning 300 numbers every time a call is made? And that happens every 8 seconds.
But that's nothing for the real pros. For them, the more cards, the better. They pride themselves on being bingo busters. Randy Henderson once pulled in $7,000.
After I won the money, I came about 5 times a week for about 4 weeks. And then we cut it down to a couple times a week.
John Zimmerman's a regular, too.
Oh, I've had luck. Not as big as Randy did, but I've won $1,350 one night, $550 another night, $500 a different night.
Now, least you think this is the norm, a bit of advice from player Donald Karowski.
Everybody's being fooled, or everybody thinks they're going to win, and they don't. Nobody really always wins because you can't do it. It just isn't done. You have to be very, very lucky.
Yes, there's much to be gained in this game of numbers. Cars, cash, and even fur coats the night we stopped in.
How does it feel? Oh, wonderful, wonderful. It's beautiful. Not really, but yeah, I do too. My husband told me I was going to win tonight.
But the people with the most to gain are those on whose property the bingo palace stands, the Prairie Island Indians. Once the building is paid off, 55% of the net profits go to the tribe, money for education funds and health care facilities. But right now, bingo translates into job opportunities. Vine Wells, chairman of the Sioux community, explains.
People are off welfare, and it's opened quite a few doors for us, and hopefully the government would leave us alone and let us operate our business.
To the players, it means a fun evening and hopefully a full wallet. To the Indians, it means self-respect and financial independence. But whatever the definition, it's still spelled the same way. B-I-N-G-O.
The Prairie Island Bingo Parlor is located about 15 miles south of Hastings, and there are free buses that run from St. Paul, Minneapolis, and the surrounding communities. For more information, just call our PM hotline. Well, right now, let's meet surfing executive Corky Carroll. As you'll soon find out, he's made a profession out of being a beach bum.